Welcome to worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Charlotte. We're glad you've chosen to be with us this morning. As a continuation of our summer worship series, I Am, We Are, What's in a Name, we will examine names of endearment, names that express connection to special people in our lives. As we prepare to sing our opening song, please greet someone seated near you.
We light this chalice today in celebration of the light in every living being. May we name that light in ourselves and others with tenderness and gratitude.
Welcome. We're happy you're with us today in this room or joining us remotely. We're pleased to have guests with us. Our members would like to greet you personally following the service. So if you are visiting, please raise your hand and keep it up. Members, take note of guests seated near you, and after the service, invite them to join you for coffee and conversation in Freeman Hall, excuse me. Freeman, same. Should it enhance your experience of future services, we offer large print orders of service, personal hearing assistance devices, and have an elevator available as well. If you'd like to learn more about us, please fill out a yellow card and place it in an offering basket later in the service. Members with a life event to share can do so on the reverse side of the card. The cards and offering envelopes are on the clipboards at the end of the row. Please begin passing them now. Visitors interested in hearing about how to become a member can talk with our membership coordinator, Kelly Green, back there. Her contact information is on the back of your order. Again, to each of you, welcome. This is a reading from Raisin Pumpernickel by Marge Piercy. You shine, my love, like a sugar maple in October, a golden orange overarching blaze of leaves, each painted its own tint of flames, tossed on the ground, bright as silk scarves. So are you happy? My curly one, my stubborn fierce butter, down with the head and charge all horns, and the blattering thunk of bonehead on bone, the smoke and hot rubber stench of overheated temper. So are you angry? Your love comes down rich as the warm spring rain. Now it charges like a tawny dark-maned lion. Now it envelops me in wraiths of silken mist. Now it is a thick, hot suit that sustains me. So are you loving? Good morning again, everyone. I'm Marilyn, and my partner Myrna, who's supportingly here, and I have been members of the UUCC since 2011, but we were, as Jay referred to us, serial visitors before that, for years, quite a few years. We have been partnered for 20 years this year and married since 2016. We chose to wait until we could legally marry in our home state of North Carolina. I have 3 fantastic children from my previous marriage, and we share 5 wonderful grandchildren. While planning for this service, Judy, John, and I were curious about nicknames used by our fellow UUCC members. So we thought it would be fun to invite you to share some of your favorites with us today. It may be a term of endearment or a name given to try to lighten the mood. Or maybe you are called a nickname so often that if you hear your given name, you raise your eyebrows out of concern for what might be coming next. We give nicknames to people, places, and things, right? After giving it some thought, I hope you will share a few of yours now. As I mention a category, please feel free to call out nicknames that you have given to some of these things. Your car. Anyone nickname their car? Yell it out. We should write these down. How about your pet?
King John Citizen.
How about your plants? Anybody name your plants? How about your snakes? Only Tom and Lib have named their snakes. What about your washing machine? I call mine Bertha. She calls me. How about your loved ones? Baby doll. Those are good. We thank you for sharing. Any others you want to call out? Anybody? No? When I was thinking about names of endearment, the first one that came to mind was M&M. Some of you may know that that's how Myrna and I are referred to. This is the nickname that most of our close friends have given Myrna and me. In the first place, our names are not easy to remember. Even when we are introducing ourselves to people old enough to remember the actresses Marilyn Monroe and Myrna Loy, the names just don't stick in their memories, probably because we look nothing like them. So we always say, everyone just calls us M&M. People really seem to appreciate being given permission to use this nickname for us. It seems to give them a sense of peace and makes it so much easier to remember us. Even though some would say that this nickname is not individualized, it recognizes us as a couple and allows those we have just met to remember at least the first letter of our names. It doesn't hurt that it's also the name of a favorite candy. Makes it a little easier to remember. When our first grandchild, Marilyn, who goes by Maddie, was born, my daughter asked me what I wanted to be called. I said I didn't have a preference and that we should let Maddie choose. But since it would take about 18 months for her to learn to talk, I chose Graham. My children called my mom Grammy, and since she died in 2007, I wanted to preserve that nickname in her memory. However, once Maddie learned to talk, and she hasn't stopped since, and she's 6 now, she totally abandoned the nickname Graham in favor of Mimi. This was not a nickname I had even considered, but I love it so much because it came from Maddie's heart. For whatever reason, as a baby, this nickname best described how she felt about me. She is very proud of the fact that she is the one who chose this nickname. Maddie is a free-spirited child who is very creative. She lacks vanity, is spontaneous, and has a great sense of fun. Now there are 5 little voices calling me Mimi. Hudson, age 6, Hannah, age 4, Merritt, age 3, and Colton, age 2. They often stretch the 2-syllable nickname to about 10 when trying to get my attention. I have a kitchen towel that my daughter gave me that says, "What happens at Mimi's stays at Mimi's." This is very true. a wine glass, which is very important, that says, "My favorite people call me Mimi," and this Mimi necklace that was given to me by Myrna, which is very special. I cannot put into words the deep and lasting love that I have for Myrna and my children and my grandchildren, but these nicknames remind me every day how lucky I am to have them in my life. Thank you.
Our second reading today is not from Anne of Green Gables, but is by Emmett Tenorio Melendez from Salting the Ocean, 100 Poems by Young Poets. My name came from my great-great-great-grandfather. He was an Indian from the Choctaw tribe. His name was Dark Ant. When he went to get a job out in the city, he changed it to Emmett, and his whole name was Emmett Perez Tenorio. And my name means ant, strong, carry twice its size. I love the idea that a name can carry twice its size. The word nickname comes from the Old English ekoname, which means to increase in size. Names of endearment are universal to all peoples and have been around the world for centuries. Endearing names often refer to sweet or sugary things, as in the song, I'm gonna try not to sing this, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. You know that I love you. I can't help myself. The French say, mon petit chou, which means my little cabbage. Affectionate names often refer to small-sized things. Think of the thousands of popular songs with the word baby in them. Once upon a time, I might have thought of sweet names as simplistic and lovey-dovey, a kind of frothy indulgence. But my journey through the land of endearing names has changed all of that. Many of us may have been hurt by a mean nickname, but endearing names don't have a hint of animosity or bullying. That doesn't mean that they can't be playful, or when we give them to ourselves, even funny and self-deprecating. Marlene Ritchie, a social educator in Great Britain, tells this story. My nickname was Wheaties. which referred to the cereal advertised as the breakfast of champions. I was inept at sports and always one of the last to be chosen for a team. I remarked to cheer up another rejected classmate that we didn't need enough Wheaties. Though at first I didn't like my nickname, I discovered that when a team captain called out, "I'll take Wheaties," I was welcomed by the group with cheers. I felt accepted because of my sense of humor, if not for a talent in sports. When I asked my husband if he had any cute nicknames growing up, he told me his sister Lynn used to call him Norden Miles Weingarten, the 23rd. "Oh, how sweet," I said. "She was so proud of you." Nord said, "Yeah," and she wanted to remind me what a long, weird name I had. Another word for names of endearment is the old-fashioned word pet names. All my life, I wanted a dog, but it didn't happen for me until I married Norden, who had 2 dogs. Over the years, we've shared our lives with 7 dogs, and though I love them all so much, none of their hearts really belong to me. We've had 3 labs who've deeply been loyal to my husband, Norden Miles Weingarten, the 23rd, and we also had 2 small poodles who belonged to our daughters. One of my daughters, Maddie, who's here today, wanted me to have a dog who adored me, maybe even a yellow lab. And so it was that in my 60th year of life, we rescued a little yellow puppy who came to be mine. Here's what I've learned about names of affection. First, you fall in love on sight, without words, with your whole body and a bursting heart. The names of endearment come from a heart filled with affection, not from thinking or trying to figure it out with your mind. I named her Emmy, then Emmy Lou, Emster, and Emmeline the warrior princess. She has short hair and rarely stinks, but I call her Stink Stink. I sing to her, "I love you, I love you," and I rub her belly. She gazes at me for long periods of time with her milk-dud eyes. She is my granddoggie, and all of her names only add to my love for her. Names of endearment for humans sometimes begin in a romantic context. Norden and I were married for 8 years before we had children, and most of my affectionate names for him had to do with body parts, like lover lips or lover lipules. There are others that I can't mention here, but they emerged from that special love because I find him so very attractive. One famous marital therapist says that it's not uncommon for us to use sweet and baby-like names for our partners when we're in that early romantic stage of relationship. According to this marital expert, the next stage of relationship is power struggle, which doesn't necessarily lend itself to names of endearment. But our names of endearment can reconnect and strengthen us as our relationships grow and change over time. Norden and I were overjoyed when we adopted our first baby, Claire. She became Claire Bear in the first year of her life. She was bright, active, and cuddly and loved to climb like a little cub. We call her Claire Bear to this day. She loves her name and feels a special affinity with bears. 5 months later, we were thrilled and surprised to learn that I was pregnant with Maddie, whose given name is Margrethe, after my great-grandmother. Somehow, we just knew our beautiful baby was Maddie. We couldn't give her a rhyming name of affection, and so we called her Mat-Mat, Matterino, and Matissimo. When Maddie was 11, she and I were driving in the car. She was telling me that she planned to replace Dr. Phil on TV, but that Dr. Maddie just wouldn't work for the show name. As we pondered what the name might be, I got a mobile phone call from my friend Victoria in Houston, who's known Maddie since birth. When I told her about our discussion, Victoria paused for a moment and said, "How about Miss Matters?" In a flash, our hearts agreed, and Maddie said it was perfect. Miss Matters, or Ms. Matters, became a name of endearment that we love and still call her. Maddie's also become a psychotherapist, but she's not on TV yet. Names of endearment may be born in an instant, and yet they endure. Affectionate names deepen our relationships. Over time, they're remembered and become part of the fabric that sustains closeness and connection for those that we love.
About you every day, my buddy, nobody quite so true. Miss your voice, the touch of your hand, just long to know that you understand, my buddy, my buddy. Your body misses you. Come to me, my melancholy baby. Cuddle up and don't be blue. All your fears and foolish fancy, maybe. You know, dear, that I'll be strong for you. Every cloud must have a silver lining. Wait until the sun shines through. Smile, my honey dear, while I kiss away each tear, or else I shall be melancholy too. There's a yellow rose in Texas that I am gonna see. Nobody got to know him, nobody, only me. He cried so when I left him, it like to broke my heart. And if I ever find him, we'll never, never part. He's the sweetest little flower I ever knew. His eyes are bright as diamonds, they sparkle like the dew. You may talk about your Daisy May and sing of Rosalie, but the yellow rose of Texas is the only one for me. I was waltzing with my darling to the Tennessee waltz when an old friend I happened to see introduced him to my loved one, and while they were dancing, my friend stole my sweetheart from me. I remember the night of the Tennessee waltz. Now I know just how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing the beautiful Tennessee waltz. I remember the night and the Tennessee waltz. Now I know just how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing the beautiful Tennessee waltz.
We call your attention to the announcements in the back of the order of service. Following this service, visitors are invited to an informal Q&A session with a UU Church of Charlotte member. Please grab a cup of coffee in Freeman Hall and meet in the Bernstein Room directly below this sanctuary. There will be a potluck and parent game night this Wednesday, July 10th at 6 p.m. in Freeman Hall. Following the dinner, parents will have a chance to socialize and enjoy conversation with other adults while playing board and card games. Childcare will be provided. On Thursday, July 11th at 6:30 p.m., Lauren Hood will facilitate a session on writing your story. Through quick writings, participants will have an opportunity to access personal truths. Please sign up for this and other opportunities at the adult programming table in Freeman Hall following the service. This Friday at 7 p.m., we will continue our summer film series that explores racism through science fiction films. Bob Gorman will host a screening of this week's film, the 1988 Alien Nation, as well as facilitate a discussion afterwards. On Saturday evening, July 13th, award-winning author Fry Gayard and Nashville recording artist Anne E. Deschant will be presenting With Music and Justice for All here at the UUCC. Tickets are on sale in Freeman Hall following the service. There will be a community potluck preceding the concert, and you can sign up when you purchase your ticket. More information is available for these and additional events in your order of service and on our Currents webpage, accessed through the UUCC website. In a congregation our size, we have many joys and concerns. We hold in our hearts our members who face long-term health challenges, and we are grateful for the many caregivers in our congregation. Everyone is invited to light a candle during the offering to mark a celebration, concern, or remembrance.
For our meditation and aspiration today, I'd like to invite you to take a slow and deep breath as you allow your mind to grow quiet. Notice how the floor is supporting your feet and the pew is supporting the back of your legs and back. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. As you settle within yourself, I invite you to float back in time to a younger version of yourself. Maybe a younger self that was given a name of affection or may have needed a name of affection. See if you can hold that part of yourself with tenderness and love. May you know yourself as worthy, resilient, and precious. May we learn to hold ourselves with kindness and compassion every day. Blessed be. It is through your generous support that we are able to offer these services and life-changing programming. The ushers will now come forward.
Please rise in body and/or spirit as we read together our vision statement. We are a loving, liberating, religious community, inspiring spiritual, societal, and environmental transformation in the larger community, in our congregation, and in the personal lives of children, youth, and adults.
We have the shortest season of the year right now. I shall find my closing words. One of the things I want to say, I want to express thanks to John, Jay, Eve, all of you back there, all of the people who sing, all of the people who make these services possible. It's a lot of work, and until you do it, you don't really realize how much goes into it, how much creative energy and thought. So I just want to say thank you to all of you who make this possible every Sunday. When Marilyn and John and I were planning this service, John mentioned that affectionate names that we have for one another could be considered sacred. What if we could also think of these names as a blessing? That our ability to name our deep and full-hearted love is a blessing that we can bestow on ourselves and others. With that, here is a closing blessing from Eric Williams of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Blessed is the path on which you travel. Blessed is the body that carries you upon it. Blessed is your heart that has heard the call. Blessed is your mind that discerns the way. Blessed is the gift that you will receive by going. Truly blessed is the gift that you will become on the journey. May you go forth in peace. Please be seated.
Words poetic, I'm so pathetic that I always have found it best, instead of getting hang him off my chest to let him rest unexpressed. I hate parading my serenading, as I'll probably miss a bar. But if this ditty is not so pretty, at least it'll tell you how great you are. You're the top, you're the Colosseum, you're the top, you're the Louvre Museum, you're a melody from a symphony by Strauss, you're a Mendel Barnett, a Shakespeare sonnet, you're Mickey Mouse, you're the Nile, you're the Tower of Pisa, you're the smile, I'm the Mona Lisa. I'm a worthless check, a total wreck, a flop. But if baby, I'm the bottom, you're the top. You're the top. You're a Waldorf salad. You're the top. You're a Berlin ballad. You're a baby grand and a lady and a gent. You're an old Dutch master. You're Mrs. Astor. You're Pepsodent. You're romance. You're the steps of Russia. You're the pants of the Roxy Usher. I'm a lazy sot that's just about to stop.